G'day. My name's David Denborough and I'm speaking from Ghana land here in what's known as Australia, far away from most of you, I believe, and certainly far, far away from the devastation and destruction that's currently taking place in Gaza. Because so many children in Gaza have been killed, because so many are currently injured, because so many are grieving, and now so many children and families are hungry, Gwyn Daniel thought it would be significant to broadcast the words of children from Gaza. And after this very short presentation from me, to set the context, you'll be hearing a letter, a collective letter from the words of children in Gaza, from Jabalia, that was crafted in 2015 that they wish to send to children in the West Bank. Quite some years since it was created, but its words still seem profoundly significant to me, so I appreciate, Gwyn, you wanting to share this more widely. My other role, other than to set the context, is to try to honour in some small way the highly significant, skilled and incredibly committed work of the Salam Peace School and the Remedial Education Centre in Jabalia, Gaza, where this letter was created. We know that some of the children of this school have been killed, including the son of the psychologist. We know that half the children and families who attended the school currently can't be contacted and are missing. We don't know what's happened to the building. We assume it's completely destroyed, like most of Jabalia and Jabalia refugee camp. I know that some of the staff who were there in 2015 are now refugees in Belgium and in Italy, and I'll be sending a copy of this recording to them. And I hope you will get to hear from them directly at some point. The team of the Treatment and Rehabilitation Centre for Victims of Torture, the TRC, in the West Bank are continuing under great hardship to be doing their work, responding to families most affected by the occupation. And again, I hope you'll get a chance to hear from them directly too. If you want to know more about the work of both those organisations, it appears in this publication called Responding to Trauma That Is Not Past, Strengthening Stories of Survival and Resistance. And there is an English version and there is an Arabic version. And I'm really happy to send this to anyone who is interested. Their work is highly significant, I believe, for so many reasons. I mentioned this publication also because when we first visited Gaza in 2012, was at the invitation of Guido Veronese and CRIC, an Italian organisation. And when the team from Dalit Center Foundation visited, we shared some stories of the work of the TRC from the West Bank. We shared some ideas in relation to narrative practice, but we also were there to document the skilled work of the Salam Peace School. So we did that in 2012. And then when we came back in 2015, we brought these books, and the first thing that we did was hand every staff member one of these books, and that turned out to be quite significant. When they opened this book, the team recognized themselves in these pages. In fact, one participant even kissed the book. They spoke of the joy that it brought them to be connected with their colleagues in the West Bank in this way. And they spoke of how the stories in this book honoured their resistance, a sort of resistance that's rarely acknowledged. I'll just read their words. As we open this book, we see inside so many stories of Palestinian resistance. Resistance does not depend only on fighting with arms, it also depends on education and caring for our children, our future. This book makes me feel that we can do everything we can, that it's not impossible. This gives hope for us. This book gives a good idea for other people about the Palestinian people. All the people think that Gaza is only about war and fighting, but this gives us a good feeling. We are more than that. And the team also said to us quite firmly, actually, that it's been too long since we had last visited. They said that 3 years is too long. Well, it's with some sadness and some shame that it's now been 9 years since our last visit. And I do hope that one day we'll be able to visit again. When they looked through this book, they saw this photo of themselves and stories of their work using the kite of life approach. For those of you who have not been to Gaza, kites have a particular significance. And on the kite of life approach, in the center of these kites, you write or indicate your purpose for living. And this is some of the things that the colleagues from the Salam Peace School put on their center of their kites. We wrote down our reasons for living: to make smiles on the faces of those I love, to carry on the legacies and learnings of my father, to work so that all the world's children can live and love, and to help others, whether they are relatives or not. These are just some of our reasons for living. On the tails of our kites, we spoke about the histories of what we care about, the histories of our knowledge, and the histories of our dreams. When we think about this, there are many memories that come into our minds. We have 3 new inventions for the kite of life that we also want to share with you. We decided that the frills or ribbons on the sides of the kite can represent the things in life that lift us up. The frame of the kite can represent what keeps our life in balance. And here in Gaza, we sometimes place small messages on the string of the kite. The wind then carries these messages up the string as if they are climbing into the air. We decided that we will include on our kites a message to the next generation. We hope you like these Palestinian inventions. We're writing to you from Gaza, Palestine. We hope that you enjoy the freedom that we are seeking. We hope for a better life for you and for us. In this publication, they also saw descriptions of themselves using the team of life approach and the celebrations that this involved. And they also saw some of the work of colleagues on the West Bank, including the work of Nihaya Abu Rayyan, who I hope you will get to hear from in person sometime. She has visited the UK and presented her work there. The Seasons of Life, the approach she developed to assist those released from prison to reclaim their lives. And they also heard about the work, the exquisitely skilled responses to suffering of Sahar Muhammad, who works for the TRC team in Jenin. And the TRC team are counsellors, psychologists who respond to the families most affected by the occupation. So whenever there is a latest incursion, latest killing, latest arrests, this is the team that goes and visits the families, often in their homes. And in that publication, the team from Gaza read of Sahar's incredibly tender, but also incredibly skilled practice with those families. The other thing that the colleagues in Gaza saw in that publication were documentations of resistance, documentations of the skills of individuals, families and communities, and documentation of the skills of children to try to respond to the unbearable and the unjust. After the colleagues from Salam Peace School saw this publication, they very much wanted to send messages back to their colleagues in Ramallah and throughout the West Bank. So they made some video recordings, and they also wanted to sing to their colleagues. And I thought I would just share this short recording of their song. The next part of what we had been invited for was to explore some of the ways that this team was already using the Tree of Life narrative approach and then further develop this. So the principal of the Salam Peace School, pictured here, has been using the Tree of Life with all families who had then had a child enter the school. She would have every child has a tree, these are her words, and they are writing this with their family, the father, the mother and the child. We ask the parents every question to know the information about the child, and through this process the family feel they know new information about the child's character. They make discoveries. What happened over the next couple of days was that many children, I think about 50 children, were brought in to the school, and the team facilitated the Tree of Life narrative approach with them. This is relevant in relation to the letter you are about to hear, because it was part of this process of the Tree of Life that this letter was created, using mostly the imagery and significance of the olive tree. Throughout this process, the children got a chance to share survival skills, but also to name what significant hardships both trees were enduring, but also children. And it was in this context that they wrote the letter that you are soon to hear. After this letter was created, there was also a ceremony that was held. The letter was read out, the trees were placed in this, you can see there in the background, there was song, there was dance to honour children's and olive trees' survival in the midst of great hardship. I'll just play you a small glimpse of the ceremony before you hear the letter from the children. There were many other ways that this team, who was so dedicated to respond to the children who attended their school, many of whom were from Jabalia refugee camp, that they created many other adaptations, but you can read more about those in the book that I mentioned. This letter then was given to us, we who had freedom of movement, to then go through the checkpoints and deliver it to the TRC team in Ramallah, as they could then share it with children in the West Bank. So the Colleagues from Gaza also gave us a number of olive branches that they wanted the team in the TRC, including Hadarasras there, to receive. This is the context for the letter now that you will hear from the children of Gaza. I have tried just to provide some tiny glimpses of the work of the Treatment and Rehabilitation Centre, the TRC, throughout the West Bank, and also tiny glimpses of the work of the Salam Peace Corps. My condolences for the gross losses that are taking place there, and for anyone who wants a copy of this work, the skills and knowledges of Palestinian colleagues, the TRC and Salam Peace School, please just write to me. It might take me a little while to reply, but I will reply, and I'll send you these PDFs. So I don't really know how to end this presentation, but I know you will now hear the words of the children, and they are more important to hear than my voice. So, shukran. Here is the letter from the children of Gaza. Hello, dear friends in the West Bank. We are children of Gaza. We are a group of 5th and 6th graders. Some of us live in Jabalia refugee camp. This is one of the largest camps in Gaza and is called the Revolution and Resistance Camp. Today we came to the Salam Peace School and did a very beautiful activity called the Tree of Life. As we drew our trees, we sang a song about the olive tree that we love too much. This song is Ala Dalawana. Do you know it? We were happy while we were drawing our trees. Every part of the tree represents a different part of our lives. The green leaves of the olive tree remind us of the beloved people in our lives, those who help us. The trunk of our trees makes us happy because the trunk speaks of our hobbies, such as drawing, colouring, singing. The fruits help us to remember the most precious gifts we have from our beloved ones. The earth represents our daily lives that we cherish, and we hold pride with our roots. The olive tree has strong roots, and so do we. The roots are our origins. If it wasn't for the roots, the tree wouldn't have grown. The roots represent our histories and origins, and without these roots, we wouldn't be here. One of us is a child from Al-Swabar village, which is known for its cultivation of wheat and peaches. My homeland is now under occupation. I hope one day we will return to our original village. One of us is a child from Majdal village, which is known for its knitting. We love every part of the olive tree very much, but we mourn for it too, because it's always suffering. It suffers from dirty soil and lack of water. It's exposed to dangers from the occupation, such as cutting and burning due to shelling. And it always thirsts because of the lack of water. We are the children of Gaza, and we are suffering from many problems too, such as fear of the sounds of rockets, bombing houses and schools, and having no places to play. We play in the schools when they are open, but when they are closed, we climb on the walls. We suffer like the olive tree. Some of us talked about problems like poverty, unemployment, and not enough clothes allowance. We lose our people and our loved ones. We suffer from checkpoints closure. Sick people die on crossings. Always the electricity stops, so we don't have the chance to enjoy animation movies, to study for exams or to do our homework. Always there is no gas or diesel and a few medicines in hospitals, while we have many sick and wounded people. We cannot visit our towns that the occupation robbed from us. We cannot visit Jerusalem. The delay of our parents' salaries means we can't buy new toys or clothes, and it's hard when there are problems in your family. We know that you are in the West Bank and that you suffer from no sea and lack of security to move and travel. One of us spoke about the hardships in the West Bank that we see on the television, such as the difficulty to go to pray in Al-Aqsa Mosque, the killing and arresting of kids, the shooting from the occupation troops, demolishing your houses and the settlers killing the children. Dear friends, we feel your pain. When the olive tree faces danger, it sticks its roots deep in the ground. It sways when there are storms and winds. The animals change their colours. They run to the caves and hide in the holes when winter comes. In Gaza, we resist like the olive tree and the animals. When we are exposed to shelling, we gather all together to not be afraid. We hide in the corners of the house. In the times of war, we play with our parents, draw and colour beautiful drawings. And when there is electricity, we watch cartoon movies. We move away from the places of danger, such as police stations, and we don't touch any weird and suspicious things. The branches of our trees represent hopes and dreams. We wish for freedom. I wish it will be free. This is what we want to say to you, our friends on the West Bank. As we suffer, we feel what you feel. Don't fear from occupation actions, because you are strong and we will overcome the occupation. We will live together in peace one day. Wait for us. One day we will hold together our small hands united. One day we will pray together in Jerusalem. We also have some questions for you. We want to know from you how you live without the sea. Do you wish to come to Gaza? How would you feel if there were no checkpoints between cities? Do you think you live the same suffering that we are experiencing? Do you have problems like us? We thank you in advance because you are going to receive our letter, read it, and share feelings together. We hope to meet you one day. We send greetings again to all the children in the West Bank. Please write back to us. We will be waiting.